In these troubled times of controversial president elections and beer-named viruses, I'm recording my first ever YouTube video. I'm not nervous, you're nervous. Hit it. Hey guys, welcome to the Monday Blues. My name is Jochen and I'll be your host. Now, as you've probably noticed, I'm playing Football Manager and I'm playing it on Google Stadia. I'm not gonna do a Google Stadia review thing, but I'll mention some pros and cons along the way. Since Google Stadia concerns cloud-based gaming, you read a lot on the internet about having lag and whatever. Now, for me personally, and maybe it's because I have a good Wi-Fi connection, I'm not sure, I didn't experience it that much, even with like graphically intense games like Red Dead Redemption. It was all pretty smooth, and lag-wise, I can't complain really. But of course, we're here to play Football Manager, so let's go. So the game is loaded. I started up a new career save with Chelsea. You might ask, why Chelsea? Well, I've been playing Football Manager for quite some years now, and I've never ever done Chelsea, so fingers crossed. Especially fingers crossed because we have a transfer ban going on until the winter. Now, one of the first things that I always do, maybe the first thing I always do in a new save, is get my tactics up and running. Now, one of the cons of Google Stadia, up until last week I think, was that you couldn't create custom tactics and then use them save after save. So in other words, when I started up a new save, I always had to do the whole thing from scratch concerning my tactics. Now, since last week, I can simply say, like you can in the normal version, the local version of Football Manager, I can just simply load in my tactics, and this saves me, of course, a lot of work. There we go. And this one is the last one. Offensive. The first tactic I always use in every save, doesn't matter what club I'm managing, is this one. It's basically a possession-based tactic with strong use of my wing players. So I have a wing player on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side I have an inside forward, which is most of the time my secondary goal scorer, next to my striker, of course. The rest you can see, I have a Mazzala, I have a box-to-box midfielder, I have a deep-lying playmaker. I use wingbacks and I use a ball-playing defender in combination with a regular central defender. My second tactic is exactly the same formation, but of course it has different setup in the tactic details. This one I use when I have to face Liverpool, for example, or another strong team. 70 to 80% of all game time, I will use my main attacking tactic. The third one I pretty much never use, but I just put it in there so my team can get familiar with it. Maybe if I have to defend a lead in the last 10 minutes of an important game, I just shut everything down, switch back to 3 defenders, have a very defensive-minded midfield, but still I use the inside forward, my winger, and 1 striker. Now, if we have a look at my squad depth screen, I think we're pretty okay at the back. Maybe we could use another left back, but hey, we have a transfer ban, so this will have to do until January. In the midfield, we're quite strong, to be honest, even in the defensive midfielder position. And on the wings and the striker position, I'm not too sure. I think right wing is going to be okay, left wing and striker even, but especially left wing is going to be a position that I'm looking to buy at least a 4-star player in January. Let's have a look at the squad. I've sorted by age because maybe you know it too, but from real life they have a lot of youngsters coming in, also because they had the transfer ban in real life, of course. So the likes of Hudson-Odoi, Reece James, Mason Mount, Pulisic, as you can see, they're all really young players, so there's a lot of room to grow, and they're already pretty good. Even Tammy Abraham, who's going to be my main striker, at least until January, He's a pretty tall guy, and he's an advanced forward, what I always play. Apart from that, we have a couple of older dudes, like Pedro. I say older, I'm 37, so you know what I mean. Pedro's 31, Giroud is 32, he's probably going to be our backup striker. Willian is already 30, I thought he was younger. But overall, I think they have a pretty good squad, and I'm not too bummed about the whole transfer ban thing, so we'll see where it leads us. Now that we've seen the tactics that we're going to use and the squad that we have in our hands, it's important, of course, to have a look at the club vision. What does Chelsea FC want us to do or to achieve? Play attacking football, play possession football, okay, play entertaining football. I think that's normally a direct result of those two. Develop players using the club's youth system, okay. Sign young players to develop for profit. That's what I do in all my saves. At least I try to do in all my saves. Maintain self-sustainability. I think that's pretty much another way of saying keep rolling in cash so we can all keep eating. Expand the stadium and build a new stadium. Okay, interesting. Maintain the best youth system in the country, in the world. Maintain, okay. Pretty much, we have the best youth system. I think that's what they mean. Don't screw it up. Work within wage budget, yeah. But then, the end of current season. Now bear in mind, we have the transfer ban. So we can't bring any new players in at this point until January. But still, they want us to reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League and qualify for the Champions League for next season. So if I'm not mistaken, that means we can finish 4th in the league as a minimum, so we qualify. I'm not sure. I know we have a good young squad, but I'm not sure they're ready to achieve that. But we'll give it a go. Okay, next season, challenge for silverware. Okay, so even if we win, let's say, the League Cup, this should be ticked, I guess. We'll see. And then basically for the next 3 or 4 seasons, it's working towards winning the Premier League. Now, as far as scouting goes, I tend to not use too much of pre-knowledge. What I mean by that is there are a lot of lists on the internet each year when a new Football Manager comes out. A week after that, there's already a list of wonder kits and bargains and whatever you can think of. I don't consider it cheating, but I do think that makes things a little bit too easy. I find it much more fulfilling to actually scout an unknown player, at least for me, in the game, and watch him become a superstar within 5 or 10 years. What I am going to do is use my scouting system, since I am at Chelsea and we probably have a lot of scouting budget. 800, okay, we almost have €1 million scouting budget. Thank you, board. What I am going to do is get me a short-term focus on a left winger inside forward. Duration, just the maximum. There we go. So by the time we are able or allowed even to buy new players, I have a list of scouted players in that position, because I think the left wing is probably the #1 position I want to strengthen once we can buy players. So guys, that was pretty much it for my introduction. I hope things are a bit clear about the tactics that I use, about the board vision. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, no problem. We're going to be back for our first at-home league game against Crystal Palace, and then we'll also do in the next episode the European Super Cup against Liverpool. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more Football Manager content, use the social media links in the description, and I will see you very soon.